Okay, so not too long ago, the overlanding community was birthed out of what we used to call the 4x4 community or the off-roading community. But suddenly everybody got the word overland in their head, and when they did, these things popped up everywhere. Made by various companies, Front Runner, Rhino Rack, ARB, everybody's got one. Well, let's take a real close look at one, and I'm going to give you an honest review about this particular ARB touring awning. This is it right here, mounted to my truck. I made my own mounts. It came, as you see, in a great big cardboard tube, ready to mount. So I fabricated up some brackets to go on top of the rack that I built myself to install it, and went about opening up for the first time. Now notice the ocean? This is me opening it for the first time. Now, the one thing that I noticed is it didn't come with any tie downs, any pegs, or anything like that. And it should, because I set this up, and within 3 minutes of setting this up, the entire thing got caught by a gust of wind, blew over the entire top of my truck, and bent this entire arm like spaghetti. A wrap. So I went to Home Depot, I grabbed a window cleaning telescoping rod made by a company called Unger and made it fit, and it works like a charm. But
after setting up the awning, ARB supplies you with Velcro strips on either side. There's 4 of them on either side. Telescoping aluminum rods that fit right into the frame down at the other end. Now, it's not necessarily easy to hook up by yourself, but it can be done, as you just saw. You could play it to some Benny Hill music and it would be really funny. The only issue that I had with this is that I didn't realize ARB outsourced to China as well. And they do. I didn't realize that until afterwards. And because of the difficulty in setting this up, and because of the what I would have to call flimsy nature of it, I've decided to replace this with a Rhino Rack Foxwing awning.
Like this one right here. They're substantially tougher and far easier to set up alone. But tougher is the key word. I wouldn't have set this ARB awning up. Well, I did. I went to Moab, I went to Colorado, I went to New Mexico, and I went to Texas. And not once did I deploy it because I was afraid. Already noticing how it just blew away in my own backyard, I was afraid to use it. And then I noticed this.
Which goes all the way around the vehicle 270 degrees. But for some people, this might be a great setup, and it's probably half the price. You can mount this to basically any rack. For one, I built this rack myself. I welded this rack up and all I did was put a couple of tabs on the side of the rack and bolt it right up. The awning is equally as comical, I'm gonna have to say.
Now, bear in mind, before you internet troll types want to cast dispersions, I am somebody that's been hiking, backpacking, packing my own parachutes, and overlanding before it was called overlanding. So I am quite familiar with how to handle things in a solo position. This ARB awning is not one of those things you want to deal with on a windy day or solo. So there's that. And then finally, it's just the materials used, everything, for $300, you'd expect more. And I never used this once. I set it up one time. It blew over the top of the truck. This aluminum arm got destroyed. I replaced it with a much better aluminum arm and then noticed these rips everywhere from nowhere. There's nothing in here to scratch it, nothing whatsoever. It's true bolted through 3 brackets and had mysterious rips. So I am selling this to anybody that might want it, but bear in mind there's 1, 2, and you'll see. Look at this.
This brand new awning that's never actually been deployed. I just got back from a 27-day cross-country trip to Moab, Ouray, all the great spots in the United States for four-wheeling. And I'm noticing that this has a hole, well, pretty much all the way down the line. The only problem is that hole doesn't line up with anything sharp in the vehicle. So I have no idea what that's from. It makes absolutely no sense. So there's that. Again, would I recommend it? Maybe. I mean, if this suits your needs, ARB also sells an enclosure for this entire thing. But to me, it's just too flimsy. That's my opinion. ARB gives you slots on the end that you can install an additional windbreak, and they also make an additional room that actually goes around this entire thing. It doesn't come with any guidelines to tie it down, and you cannot leave this standing on its own without tying it down because you will lose it. That's just a fact. So there's that.
So finally, in the scheme of things, I am going to get rid of this for half of what I paid for it because it has a mysterious pinhole on one side, and replace it with the Rhino Rack Foxwing awning, which is inbound. So I really wouldn't recommend it, but if it's something you want, a lot of people run them and have no issues. At any rate, Richie from Boston, and I am the Jailbreak Overlander. I'm out.